Hello everyone, my name is Cesar and the fourth week of Vulkan Game Engine development is here. And there is a lot of progress to cover, so let's start right away. When the academic year was finally over and I have met my family, I finally had some time to work on the project. And believe me, there is a lot of work to be done. Vulkan is quite a unique API, as it requires a lot of setup. For example, before you start rendering anything, you have to choose the physical device that will handle the rendering work. And for most cases you want to use the most powerful graphics card available in the system. But how do you decide which card is the most powerful? Do you make a list of the available consumer cards in the market? And then sort it based on a relative performance? And what happens when a new graphics card becomes available? Do you update the game just because a new graphics card came out? And remember that integrated GPUs also exist. So whenever there is a new CPU with integrated graphics, or a new graphics card, you have to measure the relative performance of the GPUs and update the list. As you can see, this is a lot of work. And I didn't want to overcomplicate my program too much, so I just set up a judge that takes the device and tells whether it is an integrated or discrete GPU. Based on this information, it produces a number which is the score for the device. And of course, the device with the highest score wins, and is used by Vulkan. This approach works in most cases, as it only fails when there are two discrete GPUs in the system. And even when this is the case, there is still 50% chance that the more powerful device will be chosen. And even though this whole process might sound complicated, it took me only about half an hour to get everything working. After that, I set up some other things needed for Vulkan, and realized that there is a big problem emerging. You see, every time I set up something in Vulkan, there is a lot of configuration. For example, to even use Vulkan in the first place, I had to specify a lot of things for the Vulkan version, to the app and engine names and versions. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't take much time and it has to be set up anyway, but hard coding everything is scary. I mean, let's suppose you want to change version of the app at some point in the future. Then I have to do a lot of work to find, change and then build the project. And just imagine how inconvenient it is when I want to change the game language. So I decided to store as much data outside the code as possible. And to do so, I have to come up with a convenient way to store all this information and access it efficiently. Fortunately, other programmers had similar problems to mine and created a convenient tool for such a job: JSON file format. Without much hassle, I found a nice library on the internet and created some utility to make accessing configuration data simpler. It makes a huge difference, as now I'm able to search for the needed information through the engine configuration files. And there are other advantages of this approach, as I can change a lot of things without recompiling the projects. The greatest thing is that after some time, when I will finally have a working game based on this engine, and there will be someone who is unable to run the game because he has an older hardware that doesn't support some features, I can simply send him a new set of configuration files that will work on his older hardware. Another big thing that I have done this week is a GLFW based window manager for Vulkan. It's a really simple set of tools, but it can create, resize, hide and minimize a window. Besides that, it has some utility to display the rendering image in the window, and is able to detect when the window is resized and there is a need to change the resolution of the rendered image. And finally, there is the first window displayed with the game engine. Unfortunately, there is still quite a lot of work to render anything to this window, and even more hassle to do it efficiently. But this project has been a lot of fun so far, and I'm pretty sure that in a few weeks we will start rendering some stuff, and maybe in a few more weeks start talking about the game that I want to create using this engine. But for now, that is going to be it, so if you don't like this video, you know what to do, but if it was awesome, hit like so the other people can find the video, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. See you soon!